And who is Savitri? Oh Savitri, thou art my spirit's power. You are my consciousness force, Chit Shakti, Chit Shakti. Thou art my spirit's power. You are Chit Shakti, my consciousness force. The revealing voice of my immortal word, the face of truth upon the rose of time, pointing to the souls of men, the roots to God. So this is what he has been doing, carrying on amongst men the evolution further. Yet shall there glow on mind like a horned moon the spirit's crescent splendor in pale sky, and light man's life upon the Godward road. Well, I mean, he has tossed the crescent in the sky, the moon, on the fourth night after the no moon day, the crescent, horn, it looks like a horn. We are seeing that. So it's a very deep occult symbol, horn moon. Very deep occult symbol. Actually, this is a surrealistic symbol. Surrealistic. Yeah. Yeah. Horn moon. You can imagine how powerful it is. The horn has been tossed into the sky to penetrate into the belly of night. The spirit's crescent splendor in pale sky and light man's life upon his Godward road. But more there is concealed in God's beyond. Well, this has happened. Now God's beyond is of course endless, limitless, infinite. You see, it has to keep on coming because it is a possibility which goes on getting unfolded in the process of the whole thing. You see, there is no end to that. Now the evolution is basically in the world of knowledge, of light, of joy, of happiness. New and new aspects of the divine possibilities will come into expression here. But more there is concealed in God's beyond, concealed beyond God's beyond because it is not applicable to us. Therefore they are concealed. But once you have managed to step into the beyond, then you start seeing them and they start expressing in you. That shall one day reveal its hidden face. Now mind is all, mind, etc., etc. Naturally, he says, there are greater destinies mind cannot surmise, fixed on the summit of the evolving path. The traveler now treads in the ignorance. Well, that is the character of mind. He is a traveler, mind is a traveler in the world of ignorance. Unaware of his next step, not knowing his goal. That is the nature of mind. Mind is not all his tireless climb can reach. Therefore, man's possibility do not get exhausted, do not get terminated with mind. Once you go beyond mind, then really the possibilities open out. There is a fire on the apex of the world. There is a house of the eternal light. There is an infinite truth and absolute power. Truth, Sat, power, Chit. They are infinite and absolute. In the world of Satchitananda, Sat and Chit coming out, the Spirit's mightiness shall cast off its mask. The greatness shall be felt, shaping the world's course. It shall be seen in its own wellness beam, a star rising to the inconscience and night, a sun climbing to supernature's peaks. Obviously, abandoning the dubious middle way. Dubious middle way. Well, it is not the Buddhist middle way, it is not the philosopher's middle way. Here, middle way stands for the mental being's approach to things. Mental being. That is why it is dubious. That is why it is dubious.
Why is it called
Middle, because man stands between the vital and the higher one. The animal and the Superman. He is the bridge, he is the connection, he is the link, he is the middle.
We are going out of the middle way, we're leaving it behind.
Yeah. A few shall claim the miraculous origin. Well, that is what is going to happen. Now, this fellow is a little careful. He says, a few shall glimpse. This is not open to everybody. Those who are ready, who have come to that point, it is they who will be able to glimpse the miraculous origin. Even all that will happen, the mental being will go further up, but it is not yet open. The great rishis who had done great tapasya, great yoga, it is they who would get a glimpse of that miraculous beginning of origin of the Supreme. So that way, he is still keeping our fate in suspense. You see, what is going to happen to we small people, you see. And some shall feel in you, some, you see, few, some, they shall turn to meet a nameless trade, adventurous into a mightier day. So those who are ready, it is they who will be taken by her further on, you see. Otherwise, others will carry on, you will struggle, they will arrive perhaps one day. By that whole process it has to happen. But he is going to tell something more also in the course of time. And some shall feel in you the secret force, that Chit Shakti, the divine Shakti which is there. See, it is impossible for us to feel what the mother is holding in her consciousness, that Chit Shakti which is there in her. Who knows that? Ascending out of the limiting breadths of mind. So obviously, this is the middle path, out of the limiting breadths of mind. They shall discover the worlds you design. They, those some, those few. And step into the truth, the right, the vast. Now this is the great reward for them. For those few, for those some. Some shall know. Some shall feel. A few shall glimpse. For them the reward is, they shall step into the truth, the right, the vast. The truth, the right, the vast. This is the Vedic phrase. The truth, the right, the vast. It is described in the Veda as Satyam, Ritam, Brahat. Satyam, truth. Ritam, right. Brahat, vast. Brahat means vast, wide. Brahma, vast. Brahat. Right, that is Ritam. Ritam means the dynamic rhythm of truth. Rhythm. Right. The truth, the right. The right is the dynamic rhythm of truth, the movement of truth. Truth in motion. Truth, that is substratum for the movement to take place. The truth, the right, the Satyam, Ritam, Brahat. Now this is the Vedic Trinity. which we otherwise also call as Sat Chit Ananda. Sat, truth, Chit, consciousness, force. That is right. Vast. Well, vast is wideness, infinite. It doesn't say bliss. It is vast. Satyam, Vratam, Brahat. What does it say, Brahat? Vast. Because it is that vastness which will grow. It is that vastness which will expand, which will flourish, which will multiply. Which will multiply. Vastness. Multiply. In other words, new and new aspects will come into manifestation. Vastness. Vast doesn't mean that it is static. It has its own potentiality to bring out more and more from its own self, from its own contents. That is the vast, endless vast. In fact, an endless mass, a mass which cannot be exhausted. He will continuously try to bring out more and more of it, you see, constantly. That is the joy of creation. That is the bliss part of it. So Satyam, Vritam, Brahat. Brahat now in that sense stands for the bliss, Sat Chit Ananda. And to the truth, the right, the vast. Here Shubhendu has literally used the Vedic phrase, Satyam, Vritam, Brahat. You can say Shubhendu has used it, you can say the Supreme himself has used it, you see. Because it is he who is uttering. He is uttering the Vedic truth. You shall reveal to them the hidden eternities. Now, hidden eternities, that is the aspect of vast. That is the aspect of vast. It has been held back, you see. How this shall be revealed? They shall be revealed in the right, in the moment of truth, in the dynamics of truth. Shall reveal in that way. The breadth of infinitudes not yet revealed. Well, he is elaborating on that, you see. Some rapture of the bliss that made some rapture, some rush, some beam, you see. So this is what is going to happen for a few. He starts, no? A few shall glimpse, some shall feel. This is what is going to happen for the few. But then he is also holding a promise for we poor creatures. Yeah, see. And the promise is, but when the hour of the divine draws near, the mighty mother shall take birth in time, and God be born into the human clay. God be born into the human clay, in forms made ready by your human lives. In forms made ready by your human life. So Savitri has to continue to take human birth. Savitri has to keep things ready that God be born into human clay. She has to keep on working. When will that happen? When the mighty mother should take birth in time. The divine Shakti, when it steps into time, then through her human births, God shall be born into human clay in the material form. In other words, this gives you the agenda of physical transformation. How it is going to happen? Physical transformation. Because few, of course, they have gone, etc., etc. What about the others? Now the problem he is going to solve for the others not those few, is embedded in this assurance of his. When the hour of the divine draws near, when the hour of the divine draws near. Now, of course, it says when. That is important. When the time has ripened, when the forces of creation have matured to the point that a transition can take place. It is at that moment of time the mighty mother should take birth in time. She is not going to take birth in time until time is ready for her birth. So time has to progress. Time has to see that one day she takes birth here. She does take birth here. And how it's going to happen? That is going to happen through the human lives of Savitri. Savitri has to keep on coming, prepare the hour for the arrival of the mighty mother. Then the thing happens. And that is the marvelous work Savitri has to do. Now I shall begin my marvelous work in thee. She has to do that kind of a thing. Savitri has to take human lives. She has to take human births. Do the tapasya, yoga tapasya in the physical, human birth, in the physical, so that the physical is ready for the birth of the mighty mother. Unless the physical is prepared sufficiently, that is not going to happen. And that preparation of the physical is the work, is the job, is the mission, is the marvelous work of Savitri. And forms made ready by your human lives. So this is a perfect stipulation. Mother has to take birth again and again. She has prepared her supramental body, but in order that supramental body does materialize here, she has to go through this process. And when that mighty mother comes, when the hour is ready, then shall the truth supreme be given to men. Until now it was for a few, it was for some, those who could go and all that. But for men, this intermediate step is necessary.